This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
The ground scrapers are up, running around, searching for all sorts of morning delights. The babblers have also just started calling, and this is Safari Live.
Ready. Standing by.
You are live. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another sunrise safari. Whether we're going to have a sunrise or not, I'm not too certain. But you are looking very quickly at a gorgeous bird known as a ground scraper thrush. I thought I'd very quickly show you that before it flies away, because I know that there's a lot of you who have just started your new bird lists. Now, of course, I just need to welcome myself, I suppose. So, good morning to all of you again. My name is Tayla, and on camera with me today is Sebastian, and we are on a live and interactive safari. So if this is your first time watching us, welcome, and we look forward to hearing from you. And if you'd like to ask any questions, which you are most certainly able to do, hashtag Safari Live on Twitter. That is the only way, of course, to get hold of us. And it's not just me driving around this morning. Ali is also out with Senzo, and maybe the Mara crew will be joining us a little bit later. But let's keep going. Now, I do want to remind you all that this morning's sunrise safari is going to be a shortened drive. We're going to be ending 45 minutes earlier than normal, just as we have a team meeting that we need to get to, and it may take quite a large amount of the day. But hopefully, before it ends, we'll find all sorts of exciting things. And I do have exciting news for you, because, well, I think if Sebastian was an animal, he'd have to be a bat-eared fox or something with rather large ears with supersonic hearing, because he managed to hear a leopard soaring right into the early hours of the morning. Now, yesterday, if you did join us for the Sunset Safari, I did mention that, of course, our resident male Tingana, that's what I was trying to say, had crossed him. We missed him by a matter of minutes into Torchwood and went on about, and the guides managed to find him. Now, he has a route from there. Normally he eventually will turn south and head back towards Gari Main, towards Chitwa. If he hasn't made a kill along the way, then that might have been him that we could have heard, but it's almost impossible to be able to identify a leopard just by its call, especially with all the leopards that we have moving around in the area. So our plan is to go straight down Philemon's cut line, which is what we're on now, get to Gari Main, and then start heading back up and towards the Mulwati, and just see if we can't see any footprints perhaps coming out. I know there's a massive animal pathway that he likes to cross into around a small little pan opposite Cheetah cut line, so we will be going down there first thing to have a look. And then one more thing is that I had big male lion tracks just behind us coming out of Rebecca's Road, going straight towards Weaver's Nest. So that'll be another thing we'll be checking, because again, one of the Birmingham boys' routes seems to be to come from the very far west, tease you and make as if he's going east, and then he turns and goes straight south and either crosses out at Twin Dams or Weaver's Nest. That's what they've been doing for most of the mornings. So hopefully these two cats are busy moving, and we'll be able to catch them in the act and put them up on screen, because I think that Ali and I have now been super patient. I think we've done a whole of 2 drives with no cats, so we need to meet and see our feline friends again. So that's going to be the plan. And of course, we're always open to seeing elephants and all sorts of wonderful creatures like that. Buffalo, we won't say a no to them. But we're coming up to a good spot where we'll check for tracks just to see if there's anything here. The light is very tricky though this morning, but I'm sure Ali will tell you how hard it is to track in this gloomy light. And well, speaking of her, let's jump back on board with Ali and say good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Good to have you on board today on another not too chilly South African safari. We have come to pretty much, I think, all of the impala and all the starlings around quarantine. My name is Ellie, and on camera with me I've got Senzo today, and we are going to try and take you guys onto an adventure. I was just wondering what was happening around here, because there seemed to be a bit of commotion. We've got lots of young boys fighting around. Then we've got some females also here, but they seem to be heading away from the boys. And then we've got, of course, lots of starlings are pretty much surrounding all of us. I wonder. Let's see what all of them are busy doing. I'm going to try going a bit forward, just so that maybe we can have a bit of a view also at the Nyalas, because they are so stunning, such stunning creatures, and we don't get to see the males all too often. I think the impalas have sort of calmed down. Have you? No, not really? I think they're just pretending. Oh, there we go. Hey guys, that's quite aggressive for this time of the year. Somebody clearly woke up with a lot of energy. All tangled up. Yeah, these two are still youngsters, so I doubt very much that they had any chance to participate in the mating season this year. But clearly they've got to spend the next season practicing, just so that they... Oh, there's another one that wants to join. So they've got to spend the season practicing, just so that they develop their skills in order to then be able to compete for any potential females around the area. I don't think they're all too impressed by them. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there is a 5th one coming there. So I think we've just come into a bit of a mix. A bachelor herd and then a breeding herd not too far from here. But the boys, being boys, are full of energy this morning. Look at that. Yeah, what are you going to do now that there's a bigger one coming along? They were pretending to be decent. Yeah, they don't want to fight with somebody that's bigger than them. I reckon that's a good call. It's all fun and games as long as it's somebody your own age, isn't it? Let's see what's going to happen now. And the older ram coming here to investigate what these youngsters are up to. It is quite funny, isn't it, how their aggression level towards each other changed now that there's a bigger male around, and it's almost like they're shy. They're a bit wary of start fighting in front of somebody that's bigger, maybe because he's more experienced. Huh. Yeah, we know that you are really fighting, don't lie to us. It's almost like this is a school teacher just watching all his pupils learning how to fight and how to spar. Quite a large bachelor group. These are all the youngsters that have been kicked out by the herd, probably at the beginning of the rutting season, when new males headed into the breeding herds just to try and mate, and they chased all of the youngsters that were potential competition in their eyes out of their natal herds. This is the most active I've seen them in quite a while. They always say that impala normally they have exercise routines, especially when the youngsters are around, and they kind of tend to do the same thing. So they'll eat during the night, they'll wake up, they'll start fighting a little bit, and then they'll go back to eating, sleeping a little bit, and just like this. Because I suppose they also have to keep fit and just make sure that they are in the best possible condition and learn a trick or two. And the best way to do so is just by fighting every morning, apparently. Cody, it's not mating season. We're just coming out of the mating season. So we also refer to it as a rutting season, and the reason for it is because impala start making a very funny noise when they start going into it, and it's just the males that do it, and they start. I can't even imitate it. It's such a strange noise. It's almost like a growl. You almost think that it's actually a lion or a leopard that's making that noise, but it's this impala. Normally they're just like going like this and then running and chasing the females and chasing all the other males around. So things are actually starting to calm down, and it is quite normal to see the youngsters sparring, just because, well, it's going to give them all the tools that they need to then be able to do it next year, roughly in May, depending on how good the rains are, so that they can all start mating. Or, you know, fighting for the rights to then be able to mate. It's always tough for the boys around here. I see the Nyala have not moved, so I want to try and head over there, see if perhaps we can also get a look at those boys. Those ones, well, one seems to be having a massive fight with a bush. I reckon the bush is losing, but let's see if perhaps we can just have a bit of a look. And just let me try going around. Robert, the rutting season roughly lasts 3 weeks, so if it started the last of April, last April roughly, that's where we saw them moving in late April, May. It's pretty much done by now. Oh, I think the Nyala's just not being all that friendly. So normally I would say the month of May. The month of May is the breeding season. Depends on how good the rains have been. I mean, sorry, this Nyala is just in a very tricky spot and I can't get to him. I think maybe there. I think maybe we can try being them there. I'm also surrounded by all the... Oh, are you guys also fighting? My goodness. What? It is very rare to see a Nyala actually starting to fight, and I think the one on the left is a lot younger than the one on the right, so I'm not too sure why he's feeling so optimistic, but you see he's still quite submissive. What? Ah, this is only the second time I have ever seen Nyala fighting. I don't know if I've just been unlucky or if it's because they're not all too common, but they're beautiful creatures. Huh. I wonder if maybe, you know, the Impala are just being a bad influence on everyone and the rest of the boys around here. See, I think this particular Nyala, this bull, he's busy marking those trees. Because by the looks of it, he's not eating, he's actually just rubbing his face against the bushes. And they have scent glands in their face, and it's a good way of marking their territory. And that's why most of the animals tend to rub their faces against the bushes. Sorry, guys, I just want to try and go slightly forward, see if perhaps we can have another look, because he is still there. There's always that one branch, isn't it? I think maybe there we'll be able to almost see it. Ah! Yeah, the rutting season sounds somewhat like that, but a lot worse. Oh my goodness! Yeah, so the rutting season is pretty much this, multiplied by 1,000 times more energy and anger. And that's pretty much what they do all day long. I think maybe somebody is not quite over the fact that their mating season is over and he's still busy bullying everyone around. Let's see if maybe the Nyala has stuck around there. Maybe we'll be able to have a second look. I think... Yep. I can just tell the movement over there. He's still... I wonder if he started eating now. Yes, you are eating. Hello, beautiful. Well, you're not being all that helpful, are you? Well, seeing our Nyala friend here hasn't been all that friendly, we're gonna leave him to the rest of his morning, and we're gonna carry on looking for pretty much anything we can find. So hopefully we'll see different things around. Why don't you guys just let us know what you would like to see this morning, and we will make an effort to try and find it for you. So use the hashtag Safari Live, and let's see what everyone wants to see today. Ooh, if I manage to keep my voice. We'll see what there is around. I would be more than happy to see something special, whatever that might be. I'm just going to leave it at an open-ended thought. And maybe we'll find something. Alright, let's go down this road and start exploring all the options and looking who's been here. Animal lover, you'd like me to point and show the birds that I see? Of course, I'll be more than happy to do so. We just gotta find a bird now. It's still a bit cold for them, so I reckon we're gonna have to be slightly more patient for them to start moving around. But I can't see any. So, whoop, look. Let's see. Birdies, come on, come say hello. What are these tracks on the road? So yes, I think the sun is wanting to shine. There is a bit of a thick cloud cover this morning, which on the one hand is making us not feel as cold, but on the other hand is just gonna make everything start a little bit later for some of the creatures, because we're still not feeling the warming effects of the sunlight. So whenever we find any birds, we shall let you know. Anything down there? Nope. Still looking. Hey, come on, where did you all go? I believe some of you, Rishikesh and sorry, somebody else, I couldn't quite catch the name, you'd like to see wild dogs. Oh. Dr. Forrester, you'd also like to see wild dogs. That would be incredible. I would also very much like to see wild dogs. I haven't seen them for a while. Last time I saw them was a few months ago. But yeah, imagine them running all across these plains and chasing all of those impala. I think that would make it for a very adrenaline morning. That would be very nice to see them. But I'm not too sure where they were last seen. The sands pack that is the one that we normally get around this area, I think they were last seen somewhere, I want to say along the western side of the Sabi Sand. I could very likely be wrong, but I think they were quite far from us. And Craig and I yesterday, we saw a beautiful termite mound that seemed to be used, and we were just looking at it and we stopped and it caught our eye because we were like, this would be such a perfect place for the wild dogs to come and den, because they start denning or they start having their pups at the beginning of the month. Let me just speak to Tayla quickly, guys. Go ahead. Okay, copy. Sorry, and did you also have some Ngala and Konzo this morning? Because I couldn't get that update. Okay, copy. I'm gonna head on to that area and then just maybe go have a look. Alright, sorry guys, that was Tayla, who's been busy looking around for creatures just as much as what we have, and it seems like she's chosen all the right roads because she's found tracks for pretty much all the cats. So she's busy trying to look for for leopard tracks, and she also found some lion tracks. So I'm gonna head onto the lion tracks because I think she's hot on the heels of this potential female, but she wants to tell you all about these tracks. So let's go over to her and see how her tracking is going.
Well, we actually literally just picked up some leopard tracks now, and initially my suspicions were that it was Tingana, but it seems as though we've picked up female leopard tracks. And actually a question from Sebastian was, can female leopards soar? And I said to him, yeah, most certainly, but it's quite difficult to of course tell the difference, especially when you're so far away. I don't know whose footprints it's going to be, because obviously we've had Tundi and Shadow moving around through Karula's territory. So it's very difficult to think. It's too early to sort of say who it might be. It was just female tracks and they were coming in this direction. So I'm going to quickly check around Treehouse Dam. Just look there and see if we can find anything more. And then from there, if we don't have anything, then we might go all the way up Shibamo just to check maybe if it's a Shadow not moving and doing exactly the same thing she did the other morning, and she was spotted around here just off of Shibamo too. So leopards are of course creatures of habit, and I'm sure as she's starting to extend her territory now, she might be reluctant to walk different routes. Maybe she's going to keep to a route that she knows well, and it ended up being a successful route as well, because she caught a scrub hare, but that route led her to catching that scrub hare. Not a big meal like I'm sure she would have wanted, but it will do her just perfectly. Now I just need to check here as we go through this little sandy section, because I don't have the tracks anymore. Anything your side, Sam? Just the elephant tracks. Just a couple of elephants that are also moving around here. Right, just want to give an update on the radio. Good morning. Maduro and Gala and Kunzo going east from Rebecca's for Luan's Katlan Junction. Ali's following up. I had Mafazi Ingwe and Kunzo. I did Vala them on twin dams just after the dam, sort of going northish. I'm checking around the elephant carcass. I lost them just before that big drainage system. And no negative from our side. Cool. Just quickly having a chat with Rolf on the radio. He's just got mobile, so if he is going to come and drive, he's driving from Cheetah Plains, he'll come all the way this side and give us a hand as well. I think he's quite keen to see either a lion or a leopard, so he said he's on his way into the area. So that's nice to have an extra pair of eyes and ears, and we've got to make sure that we keep an eye out too. And to me, this is one of the hardest things about tracking and also working on your own, and why it is so nice to work with trackers, is because it's very difficult to try and focus on what's going on the road, making sure you don't miss any tracks, but then also looking around you to make sure that you're spotting, because having your head right down on the ground doesn't always help, because that leopard may have moved off 50 meters into the bush and climbed up a tree, and through the grass it becomes very, very difficult to track. So that's what's so nice about having, of course, Sebastian with me this morning, is that even though he is filming, I'm driving and trying to talk, we're both working together, because he'll help if I've got my head down on the ground, and Sebastian's like a meerkat, scanning from one end to the other, making sure that we don't miss anything. So it's really quite nice. But ideally, having a tracker on the front of your vehicle, that is the best thing. That is the best spot in the whole world, because you have an unobstructed view of everything in front of you, of the morning newspaper, and you can pick up the report from there. But unfortunately, let's actually stop. Let's maybe just listen to what the bush has to tell us today. Ooh. Some birds that sound like they're being disturbed in the drainage just next to us. Maybe some Swainson's spur fowls flying up from the ground. But the turtle doves are calling. The prinias are also giving off little chirps. There's some very unhappy birds not too far from here. Wow. Okay, so let's go in that direction very quickly, I think. We'll listen to what the bush has to say, and instead of going the way that I wanted to, let's go over here. Let's just check this other road back towards Twin Dams again. We can always come back, but it's important that we do listen to what's happening, and that's one of the way the animals, of course, survive, is by listening. And if they don't, then they're going to get caught out and end up being dinner for someone. Obviously, we're not worried about becoming dinner for somebody, but we want to find the animal that is going to make the one that's alarming or that's not listening dinner. The leopard, the lion, the hyena, the cheetah, all of those different creatures. So we'll just check. And this is a well-used road again, of course, for the animals. They come through here quite often. So I'll just check nicely. The elephants were very busy. This is where you had all those lovely elephants, I think, around this area with Ali yesterday afternoon. They were putting on such a great show. So if we do see any tracks on top of their tracks, that'll be a good sign as well. It's something we're going to be looking out for. But I'll just drive very slowly, and I think I'm actually not going to even look at the ground. I think I'm just going to scan with my eyes. Now, Melissa, you were wondering if leopards soar, as in sawing wood, or as in soar as in get hurt. So basically what it is it's soar as if you were sawing wood, because the reason why they've obviously come up with this, and you've got to be quite creative, of course, in the bush. You've got to have an imagination. It's because when a leopard calls, I have to take my gloves off for this, because it makes it sound something like this. So it sort of sounds like somebody grinding through wood like that. So, thanks, Chantal. Chantal, did you think there was a leopard right outside camp? So, that's what a leopard sounds like, and that's where that whole thing comes through of soaring. So it's S-A-W, not like as if you were to hurt yourself and get a sore or become sore, something like that. So, I'm just checking here. Just going a little bit down Weaver's Nest. Maybe I should go Weaver's Nest and then go all the way up to Shibama. So my nose is just, morning weather is a nightmare because everybody gets the winter sniffles. Hey Sebastian, we were talking about that, and the allergies are not great at the moment. Not in the terms of pollen, but just there's a lot of dust around. So it's all making us sneeze and sniff and all those types of things to make sure we keep nice and warm so that we don't get a cold. Okay, actually let me just stop here. There might be some cool tracks from nocturnal creatures we can have a look at. Let me just triple check. Let's go off this way and see here. No, those are from, this is some old hyena tracks. Okay, no, that didn't work very well. Sometimes when I want to find tracks, I drive over them and go, oh, okay, no, here's some. This is cool. Are you ready? I just have to reposition the car to make sure that everyone can see nicely. That should be alright. Get into reverse. We don't roll away. Right. So, the tracks that I want to show you are over here. And we're going to do a little quiz. We're going to do this track. Get a little piece of stick. Can you see it just over there? There's a little pad, and there are the toes. It also has claws. See that? There's a claw. There's a claw, and the other one I think has just had a little bit of dirt kicked over. So that's track number 1. And then track number 2 is this one here. Is this too close, Sebastian? And I can choose another one.
No,
here
we're not gonna see it.
Okay, here we go. Here's a different one. We'll choose this one because it's difficult to see because the first track we were talking about is actually over the top of this one. So here's the other track, and there are toes. So that's quite a difficult one, but it's much bigger. It's about 3 or 4 times the size of that first one. So let us know, hashtag Safari Live. I'll give you a clue, there are nocturnal creatures. And let us know if you, well, have the answers. Hopefully someone will have them. Oh, Sebastian, look, it looks like the sky is on fire. Oh my goodness, that is beautiful. Isn't that lovely? Isn't that amazing? So the sun is actually trying very, very hard to peek through the clouds this morning, and it seems as though it's winning slowly, because it really does to me look like the clouds are on fire. So maybe we'll have to try and find a good view and watch it as it burns away, because we haven't had a proper sunrise now for 2 mornings in a row. It's been quite sad and quite quiet. Oh, beautiful. That is so lovely, Sebastian. Okie dokie, well, let's keep checking and we'll get back to those tracks when we've got a few answers. I know it might take a couple of moments for you to be able to get those ones. They weren't the easiest ones, especially that track that was a double track, really. It might take you a little bit of time. It will give you an opportunity to start sending them through. Right. Haha, Ali and I are both tracking this morning, and hopefully we're going to not come up empty-handed. We're going to keep searching for this leopard, but let's go across now to Ali, who's searching for a much larger cat.
Yes, I am looking for a few larger cats. Seems like the tracks all of a sudden become multiple tracks, so I think it's for more than one lion, possibly a pride, but it seems like the tracks just go off into a certain direction. So I want to try checking around this road, see if perhaps they haven't cut across through the bush and we can maybe pick their tracks up later on somewhere along the road. If not, then we'll come back and just check where we last had the tracks to see roughly where they're headed off to. Because for now I can't see any tracks of them around here, so I think maybe they've actually just gone in. It is quite a big block, so hopefully they will stick around in an area where we can find them. Are you a lion track? No, you're not. And you? No, you're not either. Alright. Let's see. Senzo, can you see those tracks on the left? Are they lion tracks? Okay. Alright, let's see. Sorry guys, I just want to check the road very carefully just to make sure that we manage to find them, because I haven't seen any tracks around here, but they've got to be somewhere around here. So if not, I can always just go back around and then start walking and seeing if we can find more tracks of them somewhere in the bush. As a lot of the times they will walk on the roads, which is one of the good ways for us to start finding them, is just start following the tracks on the road, but then they will go into shortcuts because they have their own roads in the bush. There's what we call a game path, or a particular area where the animals start walking into. So it's a shorter way for them, and clearly they know their way around quite well. I mean, if they are the dominant lions of a particular area, they know exactly where to go and what roads to take to get from wherever they are to wherever they would like to be. So I'm hoping that this morning we'll be able to find something. I have hope that we'll find them somewhere. What about around here? So I would also like to show you guys the tracks, but unfortunately I think no more tracks on the road. Yes, there we go, found them again. So they have been walking down here, but the tracks are not clear whatsoever. So I want to try and find a prettier where are you going? A prettier track for you guys, so that I can just show you what a lion track looks like. But now I've lost them again at the junction. Let's just see. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually went all the way down towards Twin Dams, where Tayla is busy trying to find this leopard. Just makes it a bit harder, the soil where we're in, because this is very, very hard soil. So it's if an animal steps for around here. It won't be as easy to see it as it could be on some of the other roads. Let me just check quickly. Just want to see if maybe there are any tracks coming out on this particular road. Nothing here. Josh, you are wondering at what time of the day are lions most mobile? Well, just before dawn is a very good time for them to be mobile, and I'm sure that's where they've been moving around because their tracks are still somewhat fresh. And just after sunset, that's a good time for them to start moving around. So as the sun starts going down, however, in very chilly winter days, I've even seen them hunting giraffe during the summertime. So pretty much whenever they have an opportunity, but in general rules, they will be more active when it's darker because they've got a bit of an extra edge and advance to some of the other animals because they can see very clearly during the night. So that's when they will prefer to move around, also because it's not as hot, so they don't risk dehydrating like they normally would. Sorry guys, I just want to check very carefully that there isn't anything coming out around here. Just trying to see if perhaps we find them. Chitty Chatty, you're wondering if we ever just walk around in between drives just to enjoy the beauty of the bush. Sometimes we do, when we've got enough time. I know sometimes I don't really enjoy running all that much, but I know a lot of the guys here do, and they like running just outside of the gates or somewhere where it still feels quite natural and wild and free. But I absolutely love walking in the bush. I think it's one of my favorite things to be seen. You just give yourself the opportunity to pretty much marvel at all of the things that are out there. Then it's just, I don't know, it's very good for the soul. But yes, definitely, I love walking around. Haven't been able to do it. A lot of the times, well, because you're in a big fire area, you've got to take precautions, and you've got to dip. So I think if I come out of the dip, things will be better. And so it's a lot easier. Sometimes, sorry, I lost my train of thought. So we don't normally go around walking by ourselves because we really need some safety measures. So we will need somebody with a rifle. That's why Herbie comes with us, especially when we go on a bushwalk. Just not because we want to shoot anything, but because it's a precaution that you need to take. I'm going to carry on looking for these lions along this road. Hopefully we'll have some luck. But in the meantime, let's go to Tayla and see how her search is going.
Well, we've just done Shibama Road now, and I haven't got any new news to report. Sadly, no more leopard tracks just yet, so I'm going to pop past the Hyena Den to try my luck and see if by some small miracle today a hyena would like to show itself. More hyenas would be greatly appreciated. And I've actually got hyenas on the brain because the whole of last night, the only animal that I heard calling were all the hyenas. They were whooping in the distance. It was such a beautiful and welcoming sound. So it would be nice if, of course, we could get them. And then, hopefully, if we're sitting here with the hyenas, we'll hear that leopard soar again, and then it will lead us straight to it. But we will go and check maybe a little bit further east. Perhaps that leopard didn't sort of stopped and turned and went away in the complete opposite direction, which is also, of course, possible with the animals. They might have heard something that would have lured them and changed them off of their original pathway. I suppose that happens to me quite often too. I do it all the time. But here we go. Here's the entrance to the Hyena Den. Ah, yes. Okay, we've got some answers to the quiz. That's exciting. Oh my gosh! I'm so so excited right now. Okay, wait, sorry, I just heard amazing things on the news. Ali's got a surprise for all of you. Can I have that answer again, please, Chantal? I got so distracted. I totally just stopped listening to you and listened to the Game Drive radio. Now, you say it's a jackal. Unfortunately, that is not the correct answer for track number 1 or track number 2. But close, a good creature that we do see around night time. We'll see if there are any more that are coming through. Ooh, good guess. Now, James Richard, you said a civet and a hyena. Well, you got the second one correct. Definitely a hyena track, but the first one, unfortunately, not right there. You could see the claws quite nicely, but good guess, definitely. So we've ruled out now it's not jackal, it's not civet. What else could it be? I'm at the Hyena Den, and they were laying here at one point. Here we go. You can see that there's a patch in the sand. Can you see it? Just to the left in the corner. Oh, there we go. That also. Look where these hyenas were laying. They were all about here. There's 3 different sort of marks on the ground. And Jennifer, you said a monkey or a bird that walks with its toes on the ground. Unfortunately, those ones are also not correct. We'll have to see. There's one answer. I'll give you a clue. Senzo and I were chasing after it the other evening. So I think that these are from the adults, these patches of sand. I'm not going to get out because I don't want to disturb the hyenas, the little ones that are probably deep inside the termite mound. That wouldn't be too fair. But it just shows you that there are there. The adults were here at one point. Maybe it was much earlier. Like I said, they were calling throughout the entire night. So what could have happened is they could have done their feasting already, came back, allowed the little ones to suckle, and then off they've carried on. But sadly, it is not active just yet. It will be though. I promise it will be. I'm going to try and make this promise, and maybe if I'm a bit more optimistic about the Hyena Den, they will actually present themselves to me. Okay, let's carry on. Let's see what else there is. Now, Chitty Chatty and John V, you say a genet. Unfortunately, that is also incorrect. A genet track is probably only a third of the size of the one track that we saw. And if you look at the toes were very, very long. And if you do have a screenshot, and perhaps there are part of our team that have just started watching now, you can share it with them. So share those screenshots of those 2 tracks, hashtag Safari Live. We have established, of course, that the one track belongs to a hyena, the second track, but now we're trying to figure out what the first one is. You might have to dig a little bit deeper. Oh, I may have stumped you, I think, so I'm just going to give you the answer. The answer to the second track, or the first track, sorry, was a white-tailed mongoose. Long toes, claws on the end, not quite a jackal, but well done to everybody, and I'm sure that your tracking knowledge is getting exceptionally good. But like I said, I got distracted by the radio because Ali has got a surprise for you, and I'm sure she's dying to tell you what it is.
We found a tree. No, I'm joking. Look what managed to be on the road waiting for us. How exciting is this? We were so excited that I think I nearly stole the car. Hello. So yes, indeed, when we last had their tracks, and they cut east through the block, and then they've pretty much taken a break. Hello, boy. I am so happy to see lions today. I was really hoping that we could see them, and I'm even extra happier right now because it means that we can spend some time with them, even if the drive has to end up slightly earlier today. Isn't it fantastic? I am so happy nature worked in our favor. Right, I'm not too sure which boy this is, so please, if you guys want to help me out getting to know the Birmingham boys a bit better and know who's who, please do let me know and use the hashtag Safari Live. I know we saw Nsuku the other day, but I don't know if this is the same one because he's got quite a big gash on the other side of his cheek. He recently turned and we could see it a bit better, but not anymore. What, are you going to go back to sleep? So we've got one boy, 2 females that are here, and there's a third one that I can just barely make out the ears of. So I'm gonna try moving slightly forward, see if perhaps we can see the other girl who is, oh, she's moving. Hang on, guys. I just wanna... She's just around the corner, so she's just gotten up, and I just want to see what's happening. Let's just go like this, so maybe we can see some of them moving around. Yep. Are we gonna go all together for a stroll? Seems like we are. So, what time are lions more active during the day, during the night? Well, it's still quite chilly. It's during the daylight, so I reckon maybe they've seen something, because when we got here they were quite sleepy, and then I think they heard something in the distance that they were quite interested in. So I think maybe they've just gone off exploring, see what else it is that they are interested in. I think maybe the two girls are up to something, but is this third one gonna go? I think the girls are a bit more preoccupied with what's happening, and he seems to be just enjoying life. Tenza and Adele think it's Mfumo. Okay, I will take your word for it. Bless you, Mfumo. I think Tinio. There's another theory. Leslie believes it's Tinio. I think he's got a very big gash underneath his right eye. Maybe it'll be easier. Yes, if you look at us directly, it'll be slightly easier to figure out who you are. But look at all those scars. I'm sure these guys have fought way too many battles, and then they wear all those scars proudly on their face. Isn't that amazing? I think, you know, as humans we pay so much money for our face not to show our age, and the lions, they wear it quite proudly. It's a sign of power, of that they've managed to survive and dominate in an area. I think there's definitely something there that he enjoys the smell of. Perhaps that's where one of the females was lying on earlier on. Are you gonna do a grimace? Wonderful. Look at that. That was a bit of a lazy one. I even thought that he wanted to. Ah, look at those teeth. Top broken left canine. If that helps anyone with the ID, to get a definitive ID on him. And what he was doing now, it's called the Flemen Grimace. So he wasn't being aggressive to us in any manner. He was just picking up all of the pheromones and the scents on the ground, and probably just still fluttering around in the air and trying to decipher what it is that message, olfactory message, has. So it could be that one of the females urinated there earlier on. It could be that there was some lion scent lingering. He's busy scent marking now. Or it could be that maybe one of the females is coming into estrus. It's a range of possibilities. So when he does that, it's just exactly to try and find out what's happening and who's going around. We've got a very brave little family of Franklins coming to join the party. I don't really know if this is family suicide or if they just what they're doing. Alright, we've got confirmation that it is Mfumo with the girls around here, and look how close those Franklin are. What are you guys doing? I don't think the lions are particularly gonna go for the Francolin. They're too small, but you never know. I think they would be slightly smarter than that, than to try their luck at hiding in the bushes just behind a lion. Ah, yeah, run. I think she's not too bothered. Jenny, you're wondering if the girls that we're looking at are part of the Nkuhuma Pride. There's a very good chance that they are. There are 3 of them here, but I haven't been able to actually have a look at them properly because we've just been looking at them from behind, and the bush is quite thick around us to try and get a visual from another area. So I'm just gonna wait for this last girl to start moving, and then maybe we'll be able to reposition, because I think the other 2 females have gone further up, or maybe what they might actually be doing is just lying in the sun to try and warm up a little bit, because I think that's what he's done. And if I'm not mistaken, the last time I saw the females a few moments ago, they seem to be just basking in the sun. So they also get quite cold. Thankfully, it's not just us, the humans. And they seem to... Huh, where are you going? Let's see where you go off to. Cody, you're wondering why the male lion has got thick fur along his neck. So there are a couple of theories about it. That thick fur is called a mane, and a lot of people believe that is to protect the face of the male lion for when they fight, from the neck, the ears, the eyes, when they fight with other lions. And some people also believe that it's a good way for females to see in the distance if it's another male or a female that's coming around. So maybe we can have another pretty look around here. I'm gonna leave the male for the time being and just see what the females have been up to. Oh my goodness, 4th female. Hello. And the cubs. Yay. What a great morning. Alright, I think I want to try and park, giving them enough space. We've got here 3 older cubs and 1, 2, 3, 4 females and a male. So I would assume, yes, this is the Nkuhuma Pride. I think maybe we were missing 1 female. Oh, aren't you all looking stunning in the sunlight? Good morning. Wonder if they've been walking quite a bit during the night and that's why they've been so tired. Funny enough, no, we didn't hear them roaring last night, or at least I didn't, and I don't think Tayla did either, because we normally, you know, when we wake up in the morning, part of the routine is like, oh, you know, did you hear anything? Did you hear leopard, lion, hyena? And I think everyone was quite quiet, so maybe they were just busy on the move. Oh, Chantel and Alice in FC said that they heard them. Girls, why didn't you tell us before? Huh? There's another lion that I can't see from here. Did you guys hear that growling? Alright, guys, I think we're gonna have to be patient and see who else was around there. Probably, there we go. There's a cub coming around the corner. Hello. Oh, they're looking so healthy. Just stunning. Look at all those tiny spots on his legs. Hello. Ah, and you were being reprimanded by your mom, hey? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lionesses, 1 male, and I can count 4 cubs from here. I think there are some more around the corner, but it's a bit of a tight space, so I don't really want to drive around there, and they've been so nice and friendly and just coming to us. So we're just gonna let them carry on doing that. Ah. Cody, you're wondering if lions ever get scared of the vehicles. Yes, if you drive too close to them, they don't like it, so you've always got to leave a bit of a space for them just to feel comfortable. Because, I mean, imagine if you had a truck or any car driving way too close to you, you wouldn't like it either. So we try to give them space because we want them to think of the vehicles as something harmless, something that's not going to hurt them in any way. What you looking at, girl? Are you perhaps Amber Eyes? Jess, you'd like to know what age does a male cub start growing its mane? So when they're about maybe 7 to 8 months old, you'll start seeing some fluff underneath their chins, and it'll start growing from there, but they won't get a full beautiful male mane like the males do until they're maybe about 5 years old or so. So they'll have smaller smaller manes, and they become quite obvious. It's almost like, you know, when young humans are starting to get their beard and they don't shave, they kind of look like that for until they're about 2. And then it's also believed that once they become territorial, or they've got a pride of their own, then their mane grows quite quicker. Hello, girl. I wonder, do we have more cubs around there? Or are you looking at a potential prey? They've got... What's happening? They've got another female that's following behind. Isn't she pretty? Yeah, Tux, you're welcome to make your way. I'm not far from Pangolin Track, Twin Dams Junction. It's a whole shlambi here. I think there's a cub that's not too happy and seems that it's a bit grumpy in the front. We'll wait for these 2 guys to move around. The rest of the pride doesn't seem to be too bothered. I think maybe someone's being naughty and it's being reprimanded. Let's see what's happening around there. I wonder if these little guys, if we drive very close to the one side of the road, if they'll let us go and have a look, because I'm busy puzzling as to what they're doing. And I can't really see anything from here. It's very, very thick bush around here. Sorry boys, I'm going to try to drive as far as possible from you. Maybe not. Are you going to let me through without getting scared? Alright. Oh, sorry. There we go. Gone back to sleep. Very pretty things. What's happening here? Look at that tiny, small little cub! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god. That is a tiny, tiny, tiny lion. And look how fierce it is. It's not letting the rest of the pride bully it. And I wonder if this is what Amber Eyes has been hiding all this time. Oh, I think my heart just melted. I can't believe this. This is one of the tiniest lions I have ever seen. This cannot be more older than a few weeks old. My goodness. Let me just call Taxon and just let him know. Okay, copy. Also, there's a very, very, very small Mantuan here. Brand new. I think the Nkuhumas, because there's 5 females around here and 6 older cubs. Well, 7 now. I think I think it's just maybe a couple of weeks. It's not older than that. It's still very, very small. Oh, so sweet. Your belly's too big for you. And all those tiny little spots. Oh, look at that. This is too precious. This is, wow. I'm sure we're just seeing them as she started introducing this new member of the pride to the older cubs. And I can't believe the amount of noise coming from such a little thing. Oh, are you tired? Too much fighting. Oh, that's not nice. Oh, you see, there is no aggression between these cubs whatsoever. It's just, unfortunately, the bigger one is a bit rougher because, I mean, he's a lion, so he's very strong, but they're just playing around. And this little one is just, I think, loving the fact that he can have more playmates now. Hey! Laura Muller, you're wondering if this tiny little one is at risk with the other ones. Well, there's always a bit of a risk because they don't probably know how to play with such a small creature. But I mean, look at it, it's so pretty. But no, they're all part of the same pride, and I believe maybe what we're looking at is actually a very special moment in the life of these lions, one that I thought that I would never ever in my life see. And it's when the tiny brand new cub of one of the lionesses gets introduced to the rest of the pride. So, or you know, maybe they've already known it for a little while. I don't think she could have gone too far. I mean, look how small it is, but they won't hurt them, they won't do anything to it because it belongs, or it's part of the same pride. If it were a cub from a different pride, and a pride that's, you know, not related to it altogether, if it were to find a male that's is not the father of this one, then yes, it would be at very high risk, because very likely a stranger male will come and kill the younger cub, but even the older ones would be at risk. I think now what we're looking is everyone just learning how to play with each other. Look at that size difference. Robert, you're wondering if all the females take care of the cubs. Yes, well, obviously this one will have its mother that will look after it more than the other ones. But one of the reasons why lions are sociable cats, or one of the only ones, is just to be able to protect each other. So they will protect the other pride members, and what is quite special about lions is that they will also allow cubs that are not their own to suckle. Suckle from a different mother, that's what I meant. So they will pretty much help each other to raising the cubs. I mean, can you imagine all this energy? Look at this naughty boy. Well, luckily he's not playing that rough with that tiny little ball of fluff, which seems to be tired, but now it's playtime. And with his golden light, wow, what an incredible morning. Oh, we've got the rest of the pride walking next to us. Hello everyone. How are you guys doing? Oh, you seem to have a bit... I think you've been mating. You've got blood on your neck and a bloody eye. Oh my god, guys. I think this is one of the most special lion sightings I have ever had. Look at all of them around there. And the tiny one, and the rest of the pride is coming next to us. So we're not going to move. We're going to sit and stand quite still and see where they go. You see, we've got probably the mother smelling them, and she's going to... Are you going to carry him? Oh, she's going to pick it up. Are you going to pick it up? Ah! This is a feisty little cub. Look at that. Giving everyone trouble. Oh, we know who's the mother now, and she's trying to grab it by the scruff, probably to carry it around. Oh my god, I hope you're getting a million screenshots of this. She's not hurting it. She just has to carry it because it's still a bit too small. Oh my god. Wow. What a special moment. And there she goes with her little cub in her mouth. I'm hoping they'll carry on walking on their own, but we will definitely carry on following them around to see where else they go. Oh my god, and you were wondering if, you know, if the cub was at risk. So while it was busy playing with the older cub, the female was here, and she was, you know, just, she was in a pose, almost like a stalking pose, just to make sure that if anything happened or if she felt that her cub was threatened, that she could always pounce and just protect its little offspring. So I think that was also proof enough that she was fine. I would like to know who it is that's the mother of this particular cub, because she's just got one, so I wonder if maybe it's her first time at having a cub. You know, all these possibilities jumping into my head, but this is, my god, this is wonderful. And she still has it on his mouth. There we go. Just gonna stay here pretty much away from all of them. Look at that. And it's funny how things work. I've always said that the one thing that I really wanted to see was just a leopard or a lion carrying their baby in their mouth, and I don't think I can be more lucky this morning. Wow, this has just been incredible. Hello all of you. Beautiful golden light. Now you guys are the older ones. You're not the cubbies anymore. Oh, look at that gorgeous light. From such a young age, they look so regal, don't they? Let's see. I just want to try going forward. John, the cub is still in the mouth. Look at that. She's still carrying it around. It's still too small to keep up by itself. So she's just going to carry it around until they decide to find a spot for the day. You know, a step of this poor cub, or about maybe 10-15 steps of this tiny little creature that we're looking at, is maybe one of these ones over here. So, oh my goodness. Wonder if there's something else that they're looking at. Hello? Obviously this little one is still quite brand new, because she doesn't seem to know what she wants to do with it, and I don't think they've decided where they want to go just yet. I think maybe there's something into the bushes that they'd like to go into. Perhaps there's something that they're not too confident about. Oh look, we've got somebody that also found something to carry around in its mouth. Do you want to be do you want to be big already and carry your own cubs? Alright, let me try moving again, going a bit more of an angle. Violet, you'd like to know how a mom transports multiple cubs. Well, they have to do multiple trips, because they can only carry one at a time. So I just want to know in which direction they're going to be going before we carry on moving, because I think the cubs are full of energy. So a lot of the times, if there's a few of them, maybe it'll take a bit longer for them to be introduced to the rest of the pride, because they'll have to kind of start keeping up with them, and it's not easy. You can imagine sometimes lions cover great distances during the night. So the ones that we're looking at, are quite old, and they go with the pride whenever they go anywhere. And I think they've started to observe the hunts now as well, which is a crucial part of their training into becoming adult lions. Are you gonna carry on carrying the stick? Jesse from Texas, you're wondering if this is the only tiny cub that there is, if it's normal for lions to have only one cub. Yes, they can have anything between 1 to 4, and that is normally just the amount of cubs that they have at a time. So it is, if this is the only one that there is, then it would be perfectly normal for her to have just one. So I thought maybe the other ones were coming from behind us. But I think maybe she's got a place, a very safe place, possibly something like a den around here where she's going to keep it in. But now that this cub has met the rest of the family, then likely they're going to start spending a lot more time together, and it'll become just one more of the naughty bunch that we've got here. Hello, beautiful girl. I wonder if this is where you've been hiding all along. There's a tiny one. Rebecca, you're wondering if they introduce them one by one or all of them at the same time. Normally it doesn't, as far as I know, and not that I have too much experience witnessing it on my own, but they, so pretty, but they normally just introduce them all together. Oh my god. That is such a small thing. And you see, everyone's quite curious about the little one. They all keep coming around and seeing it, and the mother is still a bit wary, like you can see, but don't play too much. But everyone's quite eager to meet the little addition to the family. Ah, there it walks. Hello. Are you still stumbling on your feet? Yeah. You don't play rough with the younger ones. Oh. Look at that! Isn't that the best portrait ever? Oh my god. This is so unbelievably special. What an incredible opportunity these wonderful lions are giving us this morning. I think I'm at a loss for words. Tiny, regal creature. Incredible to think that something so small is going to become something so big, isn't it? Oh, pretty little thing. You can see all the spots on his forehead, so I would say that this thing is probably just a month and a half, 2 months old. It's normally the time that they start meeting the rest of the family. Where is everyone else going? Because this is the first time that we're seeing this tiny cub, I don't want to be too close to it. I don't want to bother it. I also want to give it enough time to learn that we just love watching them from a distance, but that's pretty much it. Okay, so I think this is far enough for the comfort zone for this little cub. Just trying to be sensitive to what we're seeing and just make sure that we don't stress them out in any possible way. Well, I think he's too busy now trying to fight all these older cubs that are starting to bully it. But look, he's putting up a very good, or well, I'm not too sure what it is. It's putting up a very good fight. Oh, I think we might have a girl. Although it's probably still too early to tell. Or maybe not. Hello, little one. Jess, you'd like to know what percentage of lion cub survives into adulthood. When in this particular area, they've got about a 70% chance, roughly. Between 60 and 80, I would say, all around this area, depending where you are in particular conditions, and of course, what book you read. But they've got a good, a decent success rate around here. In some other areas where it's tougher to find food, it might be a lot harder for them. And well, it just depends on many things. I think this particular ones have a good have a good fighting chance because they are part of a bigger pride. Lots of eyes looking after them, and well, we know that these females have made a stunning job. I mean, look how healthy the other cubs are doing. So I think this cub was probably lucky and born into a pride that is going to try their utmost best to make sure that it manages to get into adulthood. Sometimes, unfortunately, bad things happen in the bush. Random things will, you know, one of a buffalo or elephants will find them, or maybe other lions, or, you know, genetic diseases or any other thing. But I think it's safe to say that this pretty one is very feisty. Very, very feisty, and he's going to try its best. It's so funny because these cubs don't really know what to do with this. They keep touching it and be like, well, but it fights back. But you see, even for a lion, and even if he's a very strong cub, he's still being, it's still being very gentle with the youngster. Ah, you see, the youngster is fighting back. You see, no claws are coming out. Just more curiosity than anything. Just trying to figure out, like, will it break? Can I play with it? What are you looking at?